Welcome to the pod, Talking Real Estate. I'm your host, Dustin Anglum, and today we have a great discussion lined up for you. We will be speaking with real estate agent Jeffery Fish here with us, and we will be talking about why all these people are coming to Oklahoma. We see it every day. There's out-of-state people coming in. Jeffery himself came to Oklahoma, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. Welcome to the show, Jeff.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
So let's start off with your story. So you moved here from Colorado Springs, right?
In that area.
Yes. Kind of.
Yeah.
So what prompted you to come to Oklahoma?
That's a long story, and I'll save that for a personal one-on-one conversation. But let me start out by saying we're Christians, my family and I, and we're in Christian ministry. And we lived in Colorado Springs for 10 years. We were heavily involved there. And we just started feeling the need to live more a rural lifestyle. And we homeschool our kids. And so we started figuring out a plan to move out into the country. The country in Colorado would be the mountains. So we moved further south from Colorado Springs into the mountains. And this was about the time that COVID happened. And we found ourselves at odds with our government, with the way the politics and everything was going on, and this is a commonality that I'm seeing with all of the people coming to Oklahoma. A lot of like-minded people like us, and so that's what happened. Is we found ourselves at a crossroads, and we had to make a decision. And we were in the medical industry. We had to do stuff that we didn't agree with because of our medical license. And we already had friends and family that lived in this area, family that lives in neighboring states. We're not too far away. So I caught my wife looking at houses online, and she was the one that swore we would never leave Colorado. And I caught her because I sent her a house. I took a chance. I sent her a house, and she came back and said, "Oh, I've already seen that one." I'm like, "When did you start looking at houses?" Anyway, so that started our process. I knew right then that God was leading us out of Colorado and into Oklahoma. So, and I knew I wanted to be in Eastern Oklahoma. This best fits what I want to do with my life. This has mountains and lakes and rivers and nice hunting, and it's also close to the friends and family that were here. So 3 trips coming out here looking at houses. We were under contract once and came out, looked at the house and said no way. Had a realtor that went out and looked at houses for us, and then when we finally found one, we came out. And anyway, so third trip was third time's a charm. And we live in Locust Grove now just because there was an available house. Everything was being sold out from underneath us. Mm-hmm. I would see it on a Monday. By Wednesday, everything was gone. So I couldn't get out here any faster. So anyway, that's why I live in Locust Grove. That's what brought us out here. We came out here for homeschooling and medical freedom.
I've heard that a lot lately. All the recreational activities that Northeast Oklahoma offers. It's a big commodity for people. I mean, it's a big selling point for our area. And then kind of with how our area and everything that we offer, homesteading has kind of become kind of like a big thing, very common. And you kind of have some experience with that as well, don't you?
Well, not as much experience, but a desire. And so years ago, the plan was to try to move to Oklahoma or Arkansas or Tennessee or someplace in the South that aligned more with our values. And I always just wanted to have land. I wanted to be more self-sufficient, more self-sustaining, less dependent on the system, on the grid and on the food supply and all that. So we want to have our own animals and, chickens and ducks and geese and goats and cows and have our, everything. Do all the old McDonald's stuff, And so that's, right now we only have 2 acres, but eventually we're gonna buy a piece of property and either build or, find a place that meets our needs. We have a daughter in a wheelchair with special needs, and so we have to. Our house has to be handicap accessible. Mm. So it'll probably end up being us building and on a piece of land that we really love. So That's near and dear to our hearts, is trying to be as self-sufficient and self-sustaining as possible.
So how has your move to Oklahoma, how has that impacted your real estate career?
Well, I didn't have a real estate career before I came here. I worked in federal service for about 25 years. I was a cop for a short period of time. I did all kinds of things, but mostly federal service, 25 years worth. And but I bought and sold a lot of properties over the years, and it's always been kind of an interest. So when I came here, I thought about, I want to stay free. So I was thinking about doing a lawn care business, but I knew that the startup cost was, you got to have a truck, a trailer, all the mowers and everything, and that was going to cost a lot of money right up front, and I wasn't sure. And you got to build a business, you got to build your clientele and all that, and I'm brand new. So I thought, well, maybe a window cleaning business. Less startup costs, but same thing, you got to build a business. Well, real estate, while you are new and you do have to build your clientele and everything, it's something that interested me, and I really felt like I could relate to a lot of people that are moving, for the same reasons that I am. That was happening a lot, and I thought that's probably a good fit for myself and for my wife. She helps me. I'm the licensed one, but she does a lot of the legwork, so it's a team effort. And so yeah, I just. Providentially, I believe, I came, I went and got my license, went to school in Tulsa, and, it was just over a month, maybe 6 weeks, and took the test, passed it miraculously first time. And then it was about finding the right brokerage. Mm-hmm. Well, all the big name people come after you at first, and it's in all my other experience in trying to get a job, you have to go and sell yourself. Mm-hmm. In real estate, it's the brokerages, they want you to come work for them. If it seems like a good fit, personality wise and everything, you could pretty much go to work for any brokerage you want. And so I just had a few conversations with people, just trusting that God was leading me, and made a phone call, talked with this guy named Larry Berry, and he was a super busy guy, but he was going to go look at a house with a client, and I said, well, do you mind if I ride along? And that was it. That was just kind of how it started. He and we got along well. He's a great guy. And so when it came time to, hanging my license, I did it underneath Lakeland. And so that was the beginning of my career. And that was in April of 2020. And been here ever since. And it's been a fun ride. And awesome. We've been able to provide for our family just with this income.
Gotcha. Yeah, that personal touch really makes a big difference. Especially when you do have family involved and you have people that depend on you. You need something where you're still going to have time for your family, but you also still have a way to provide. So it works out good.
Yeah.
Have you noticed any particular trends with the people that are relocating to Oklahoma?
I have. So I see trends on coming in, and I see trends on leaving. Mm-hmm. So the trends on coming in, since I'm new here, nobody knows me. I'm just an outsider that has come in. I have to buy leads. That's something that's common in sales industries, where you go to, like for real estate agents, we have to hook up with things like realtor.com or Zillow. And so I pay for that, and that's how I get most of my leads. Probably 50% of the calls, if not 75, are people from out of state, and they are coming from places like California, places like Washington State, places like New York. Typically, on a different spectrum politically than they are, and they want to find a simpler, easier life with a lower cost of living. And out the Tulsa area, for example, as far as I know, is still the number one real estate market, and we're kind of in the Tulsa area, mm-hmm. Touching that. It's the number one real estate market in the nation, and so that has been the largest thing is people that are moving in from places like that, coming here looking for simplicity, wanting to get close with their neighbors, live in kind of we call it the Bible Belt, but it's more just down home feel. Mm-hmm. Is kind of how it is. People take care of each other. People watch out for each other, and all that. So yeah, I've definitely seen a trend like that.
Gotcha. What advice would you give to someone that's considering the move to Oklahoma?
Okay. Well, one, I would say that, do your research, get online, look at the different areas. Of course, I'm biased. I love Northeast Oklahoma, mm-hmm. and I would advise anybody that's looking, and if they're open to suggestions, of course, I'm going to suggest this part because of what this area has to offer. We do have, if you need to be close to a larger city for medical or for shopping or whatever, or for employment, you can still live within commuting distance of, we're within commuting distance of Tulsa. We're within commuting distance of Siloam Springs. You can move a little further south and still be in commuting distance to Tulsa and be in commuting distance to like Fort Smith, Arkansas, mm-hmm. things like that. Or live up north in the Northeast, even more in the Northeast, up Grove area, and commute to Joplin or over into Fayetteville or Bentonville or something like that. Lots of job opportunities. So I would do your research. Pick your realtor wisely. Find somebody who is empathetic to what you're doing. Find somebody who is a people person. Find somebody who is willing to go the extra mile and do research for you and with you. Find a realtor that can do, virtual tours for you. Like you're still over in Indiana and you can't necessarily come down this week, mm-hmm. but I can go see a property for you, and I can take along my phone and we can connect through any different social media apparatus, or like I have an iPhone, you can do FaceTime. I can show you properties, or your realtor can show you properties ahead of time and give you a good feel for what's available, and things like that. Doing your research, checking out the school systems and the medical and all that. A lot of people, I should say a lot, but I've had several clients that came from out of state and they know a little bit about their area, but they don't know everything, and they get so far into the buying process, and after they've gotten there, they're not as happy mm-hmm. because they didn't do enough research. So doing research ahead of time in this day and age of electronics and internet and stuff, you should be able to find out what you need to know.
That's some great advice. So before we wrap up, is there anything you'd like to add to anyone that may be listening?
Well, very biased information, but I think everybody should consider Northeast Oklahoma, and I think that everybody should strongly consider Lakeland Real Estate as the company that you should trust. We are the leading experts in Mays County in this area, and we're one of the stronger real estate brokerages, even though we're very small in comparison to a lot of companies. We just have a great mix of personalities here and a lot of wealth of knowledge, people with decades of experience that are working here. So look us up. We're on Facebook, and we have our own YouTube channel now, and well, thank you so much for joining us today, Jeff. And to our listeners, thank you for joining us. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you like and subscribe and leave us a review if you'd like. And if any of y'all are thinking about moving to Oklahoma and you have any questions, just give us a call. We are always happy to help. We have someone in the office all the time. Well, not overnight, but we have someone in the office every day just about. So just give us a call and we'll be happy to talk with you.